National Stadium on the island of Bermuda. It is the Concacaf Nations League. Dominica facing Bermuda here in Group D of League B on this Saturday evening. Hi everyone, I'm Steve Schlanger, and we welcome you to our coverage of the Concacaf Nations League. It is a warm night in the Eastern Caribbean, temperature 75 degrees, clear skies, a terrific night for football here, and we have two teams battling for second place in Group D. Bermuda currently sitting in second on goal difference alone, ahead of Dominica, and it's only one goal that is separating these two teams. They both have identical records of one win and one loss, but Bermuda has scored one more goal than Dominica. They both allowed the same, so a lot can change with their head-to-head matchup here tonight. And what's more, it's the first of two head-to-head get-togethers between these two teams over the next 4 days. They'll meet again on this very same pitch coming up on Tuesday to conclude this current international break. So a lot can change here over the course of these next few days in Group D. There's already been one game played in the group here today. The Dominican Republic here at this stadium just thrashed Antigua and Bermuda. They beat them 5-0, so the Dominican Republic remains perfect with 3 wins and no losses. And on the opposite end of that ledger, it's Antigua and Bermuda, I should say, with no wins and 3 losses at the bottom of the group. Bermuda with 3 goals scored, 3 allowed. Dominica with 2 on the board, also 3 conceded to this point. It's been very tight between these two teams when you look at the standings. Dominica with a win over Antigua and Bermuda on match day 1. They then lost to the Dominican Republic, shut out 2-0 on match day number 2. Bermuda also lost to the Dominican Republic 3-2 back on match day 1. And like their opponents here tonight, they also beat Antigua and Bermuda, though, by a much slimmer margin, as they got a win on match day number 2. So first of 2 meetings here over the next several days at the Bermuda National Stadium, which is just east of the capital of Hamilton. Seats about 8,500, largely a cricket ground, but a famous stadium that has held some important events over the years, including Usain Bolt running here. And now awaiting the arrival of the two teams, and they get set to parade out onto the pitch.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the 2024-2025 Concacaf Nations League Group Match, match number 54, the national teams of Dominica and Bermuda. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of Dominica. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the national anthem of Bermuda. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineup for Dominica.
The national anthems for both nations.
Number 2.
And now getting set for the starting lineups for both sides here tonight in Bermuda.
Number 5, Rufus Pierre Louis. Number 9, Jerry George. Number 10, Troy Jules. Number 13, Marcus Breeders.
And first up for Dominica, as Glenson Prince, who is their keeper, is also their captain. And the squad led by Ellington Sabin, the 43-year-old head coach, a native of Dominica. This is his only ever head coaching job, now 2 years in this position as the head coach for the squad, ranked 81 in the world.
Number 5, Vijay Tucker.
Our officials are paced by head referee Fernando Moron of Panama, who has been a referee at several Concacaf events, the Gold Cup, the Nations League. And now he'll entertain the captains meeting at midfield here. Zeko Lewis does the honors for Bermuda, who's part of the Sacramento Republic squad back in the USL in the United States, and the aforementioned Glenson Prince, the keeper for Dominica, who is the captain for side. Coin toss, and then the photo here before we get to the photo of the starting lineup of Bermuda. And Michael Finley is the head coach, the 60-year-old from Canada, the native of Winnipeg, in his second year as the head coach for Bermuda, and now trying to steer them towards the top of this group and a potential promotion to League A in the Nations League for next year's edition. Second game of the day here at this venue, the Bermuda National Stadium, with the Dominican Republic already shutting out Antigua and Barbuda. And now it is Dominica and Bermuda meeting here in the nightcap on a perfect Saturday evening on the island. 75 degrees, clear. Dominica in the green and Bermuda in the pink. Second place on the line between these two. Identical records in the group after the first two matches. 1 win and 1 loss for each side, but Bermuda leading on goal difference alone by 1 lone goal. They've scored 1 more goal than Dominica. Both have conceded the same. So everything up in the air between these two sides, and so much can change over the next 4 days. And there was the save by Eve just a moment ago, and just a tremendous stop, as he had to be ready right away. Instant offense coming from Dominica. Now here is Travis Joseph turning, looking for an opening there. This Bermuda side, with the loss to the Dominican Republic on match day 1, 3-2. They were outshot 20-6, but had twice the possession of the Dominican Republic. A very strange game. They come back a few days later. They beat Antigua and Barbuda 1-0. They outshot their opponent 8-0 in terms of shots on target. And there's the first shot of this game. And just wide by Bermuda. So now each team with a chance in the early going here. Dominica in the first minute, and now Bermuda coming back here in the third minute of play. Bermuda, known as the Gombe Warriors, ranked number 170 in the world. They at one point were as high as 58, but that was a long time ago, back in 1992. Dominica currently 181 in the FIFA rankings after joining FIFA relatively recently, back in 1995. They beat Antigua and Barbuda 2-1 in their opening match of group play. They were outshot and had less possession, but still got the 1-goal win. Then were shut out by the Dominican Republic 2-0 on match day 2. They were outshot in that game as well, but by a huge margin, 20-1 overall, and 6-0 in terms of shots on target. Dominica had only 30% of the possession in that match, so thoroughly dominated by the team that leads the group with 3 wins and no losses, the Dominican Republic. They are now halfway through group play, 3 matches down and 3 left to go. Each team with 2 in this October window here in Bermuda, and then 2 more coming up in November. Now Dominica, good recovery defensively, now trying to break out of the back. This is Eustace Marshall. Long ball. Can't find his target. And Bermuda. Now trying to create some offense here from the top of the box. Long shot, maybe ill-advised. A little too far out and never had a chance. Industrious play, though, by Zico Lewis from the Sacramento Republic. Only had options on both sides. Decided to go for goal instead. The Dominican Republic, if they continue to play like this, are going to be hard to unseat at the top of the group. They have now beaten all 3 teams through their first 3 matches, and they absolutely thumped Antigua and Barbuda earlier today here on this field. Won 5-0. They outshot their opponent 23-3 and 14-1 in terms of shots on goal. Six matches altogether in group play here in League B for the Concacaf Nations League this year, meaning that with 4 teams per group, everybody plays each other twice, and sometimes in short order, like here in this October window where these 2 teams, Dominica and Bermuda, are meeting twice in 4 days. The winner of the group is promoted to League A for next year. And once you get to League A, you have an opportunity to go all the way to play for the title. That only comes with being a part of League A from the start of the competition every year. So a throw in now for Dominica. And Bermuda looking to break out. Play on the counter. But a little too impatient in getting forward. That's the tricky thing when you try and play in a counter-attacking style. You have to have the pace, but you also have to have the precision with your passes. And you have to have an idea of what you want to do, not just get impatient and play the ball long for the sake of going vertical. Many times you play too quickly and there's no one that can receive that long ball. The idea is to play with pace, but also execute your passes, hit guys in stride, and make sure you maintain possession. Now from the back, Roger Lee playing it long, trying to go vertical here, finds his man, and the shot is finding the back of the net just like that. What a shot, what a goal, what a play from the back, going vertical, and that time it paid off. And when you get to the end product there, that was just sensational from Nahiki Wells, who plays at Bristol City. Nahiki Wells didn't take long, and he buried it in the corner as Bermuda takes the 1-0 lead. His first goal of this competition. Now we were just talking about the long balls, and you got to have somebody who can get there. And that time, Wells had the speed. He got behind that back line, and a one-time finish. So Bermuda on the board first here with the lead in the first 10 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, goal for Bermuda, scored by number 21.
That's the third different goal scorer so far in the competition for Bermuda. Trying to attack from that right-hand side once again, but Dominica now moving it forward. Players collide, a Dominica player still down. Now a chance from the right-hand side. And Bermuda has been very good defensively. And they'll just lob it down the sideline. Now Bermuda off to a promising start and not all that predictable given their current form. They have just one win in their last 5 games, and they have allowed 15 goals over those 5. So they have had trouble keeping the ball out of their own net. Last year, they won 2 of their 6 group stage games in the Nations League. So far, so good here tonight. 1-0 is the lead early on here on their home pitch. And while this is technically a game at home for them at the Bermuda National Stadium, this is part of a new model that Concacaf is using for some of these Nations League games where they're played at a centralized venue in each group. So all of the teams in Group D are here playing all of their games through this October window here at this venue. They each have 2. and they're all played at the Bermuda National Stadium, cutting down on the travel costs and logistics. Shot misses near side as Bermuda continues to dial up the pressure. It was Reggie Lamb that time. Coming into the competition this year, the way they determined it, the third best ranked teams in each group hosted the September matches. The second best ranked teams are hosting the October matches. That means Bermuda. And then the best ranked teams will host the decisive November matches. Free kick for Dominica, trailing 1-0. Looking all the way to the far corner. Keon Thomas lays it off. Now knocked out. And a free kick from that corner there. Almost functioning as a corner kick itself. Zico Lewis is going to get in the way and form a one-man wall, but from this angle, it's just a few feet short of an actual corner kick. First free kick for either team in a somewhat dangerous spot on the pitch as Dominica tries to level. Line drive headed out, and a chance for Bermuda here to use their pace. But again, the pass misses its mark. This Concacaf Nations League also serving as a qualifying opportunity for the Gold Cup for next summer. Bermuda has only ever been to one Gold Cup in their history, and that was back in 2019. Dominica has never been to a Gold Cup, never been to a World Cup either. Neither of these teams have played in the biggest event in the world. Now a chance for Dominica, and shot totally fanned on. Gillies Mitchell didn't get enough of it to really make it a testing shot for the keeper, Dale Eve. Here comes Bermuda once more. Oh, it's a nice flick. Top of the box. And a free kick. It was sold very well. As Zico Lewis went down, hit from behind, and now the best opportunity from a set piece either team has had so far here in the first quarter hour. It belongs to Bermuda as they try to extend this advantage. Unnecessary foul there too, and it's not an area where you want to foul a player. I mean, this is an ideal spot for a free kick. Four-man wall, two players standing over it, curled around and off the crossbar. Oh, a terrific effort, and that close to being 2-0 as Dominica finally clears. And now they may have numbers if they can hustle. Trying to get out into open space. Brielle Thomas losing possession, and a throw in for Bermuda. Oh, a terrific strike here. And it was Nahiki Wells looking for the brace. He scored the first one, almost had the second. Just needed a little more dip in that shot as he was bending it around the wall and trying to get it underneath the crossbar. Bermuda really testing this back line of Dominica here in this opening frame. And they go quick on the free kick, but now it's going to be called back. That's a good flick. And the shot from an angle makes it 2-0 Bermuda. A similar angle to the first goal. And inside the first 20 minutes, it's 2-0 to the home side here in Bermuda. And the brace for Wells, Nahiki Wells, with two very similar goals, staking his side to the lead. And already going a long way to cementing their spot in second place in Group D.
Ladies and gentlemen, goal for Bermuda, scored by number 21.
Now just too much space allowed from Dominica, allowing to play between defenders. And then nobody marking Wells, trying to chase from behind, and that's not the place you want to be. That's what cost them on the first goal, as he got in behind that back line, did the same thing here, and once again went far post. Beating Glenson Prince. And Nahiki Wells, a first half brace, and a 2-0 lead for Bermuda. Now 5 goals for them so far in this competition, and they have extended their goal difference over Dominica to 3 goals. But also hoping to take all 3 points here with a win tonight. Dominica in the final third. And the pass behind its intended target. Allowing Bermuda to race forward again. Oh, just too much space in the middle of the pitch for the men in pink to deal with here. Pretty much having their way. Michael Finlay, their head coach, looking on from the sideline. Slotted in. That was a good chance for Blaze Hall. And a good ball from Luke Robinson. Oh, I just missed it. It does set up the first corner kick of the match, though. Everybody congregating in the goal mouth. And it winds up as a goal kick. Now Michael Finlay has to be happy with what he's seen. His Bermuda side out to the 2-0 lead. Could be more, considering the way they have controlled the majority of the play, created several chances. Finlay, the 60-year-old Canadian native from Winnipeg in his second year as the head coach of Bermuda, was an assistant with Canada, was a manager at Grenada, and now coming over to manage Bermuda for the first time. Coming up on the midpoint of this first half. It is two Nahiki Wells goals that are the difference in Bermuda having this early lead. Neither team in very good form coming in. I mentioned before how Bermuda has just one win in the last 5 for Dominica. They are 1-4 in their last 5, with 1 win and 5 losses. They've allowed 14 goals during that stretch. Prior to that, they had played much better, having won 4 of 5. But a similar story around each team coming into this matchup here tonight, as Bermuda looks to attack once again. That's well defended, though. Each team with only 1 win in their last handful of games, while allowing a copious amount of goals. Bermuda conceding 15 goals in the last 5 matches. Dominica allowing 14 goals in their last 5. Oh, that's a good ball. Slotted through. The keeper came out. Glenson Prince read it, but it's going to result in a penalty. That was a tremendous run by Reese Jones Jr. An even better pass with that angle to find him through a series of bodies. Making the run, well-weighted pass, and a well-deserved penalty on the end of it. Just a sensational play by Najee Tucker on the pass. No doubt that's a penalty. And so now a chance to make it 3-0. And it looks like we'll be Nahiki Wells going for the hat trick here. A first half hat trick if he can convert this. Wells for 3 first half goals and a 3-0 lead for Bermuda here at home. Oh, that was almost saved. He was very casual about it. Glenson Prince got a lot of it, but not enough to make the stop. So it's a first half hat trick and a 3-0 lead for Bermuda. Not often do you see a player that casual. Many times it's a stutter step and a pause or a hard run up, but he was just very casual in his entire approach, never broke stride. Almost paid for it though, but he converts the penalty and a very comfortable lead for the home team. That's his most goals as they've scored in any game so far here in this competition, and 3 coming in the first half. And now over the last 6 games, that is 17 goals conceded by Dominica.
Ladies and gentlemen,
really,
Bermuda, scored by
it's
number 21, Nahiki Wells,
5.5 games for the most part. That's headed up, and the keeper just gets a piece. Glenson Prince almost headed over him, and now on the rebound, that's blocked at the defense. Bermuda trying to pour it on here. It is Najee Tucker who gets it back. Dominica trying to break with Mitchell. Now Bermuda just playing right through Dominica at the moment. Dominica allowing just so much space. Free kick. And Dominica on their heels right now, as Bermuda is basically doing anything they want. And they're slicing right through them with their possession, their passing, orchestrating opportunities. Already leading 3-0, and it could get much worse. Tucker flicks it in. Now Dominica had the first really good chance of the game, which came in the first minute of the contest. But since then, it has been all Bermuda. I mentioned before how neither of these teams have ever participated in a World Cup. They are both going through World Cup qualifying right now. They are in the second round, and for Bermuda, through 2 games, they have 1 loss and 1 draw. They tied Antigua and Barbuda and lost to Honduras, currently sitting in 5th place in their group. While Dominica, 2 losses through 2 games, going down to Guatemala and Jamaica to this point. They resume World Cup qualifying next summer. Half an hour in. 3 goals from the same player, Nahiki Wells, a first half hat trick. His first 3 goals of this competition. And a game statistically, in just about every regard, as well as on the scoreboard where it counts the most, that has been controlled and dictated by Bermuda. And a free kick for Dominica. This will be their best chance. Second free kick, and that's given them an opportunity, and it's also going to bring up the first yellow card of the match for Dominica. It was Troy Jules who was taken down. And so this will be the best spot from which they've had a free kick to try and go at goal. The first set piece was more at an angle near the corner flag. Dante Leverock on the yellow. Jones, I should say. Reese Jones Jr., first booking of this match. Line drive right at the keeper. He coughs up the rebound. It's still loose. And finally, it is Dale Eve who falls on it. Well, it had a lot of velocity to it, but right at Eve. And they're on the rebound. trying to jump on it, Travis Joseph. The defense for Bermuda not as quick to react as they probably would have liked. Joseph looking for his second goal of the competition. He scored one of their two in their opening match, the win over Antigua and Barbuda.
Yellow card issued to player number 6, Reese Jones Jr. from Bermuda.
That'll be a free kick for Bermuda. And a player still down here. That's Roger Lee. Slow to get up, and also still on the deck, Javid George for Dominica. The two players in separate incidents, it looks like. Haven't had any extended medical stoppages so far. This is the first where the trainers have been required to come out. Looks like his hand is the issue here, maybe a finger. Now the keeper, Dale Eve, also being dealt with here. So in the end, a free kick for Bermuda. This Concacaf Nations League in its 4th edition this year. This League B featuring 16 different teams. 3 different leagues altogether, A, B, and C. 4 teams and 4 groups here in League B. As I noted earlier, you have to be in League A at the start of the competition to have a chance to win the title. That's where the U.S. is, the United States, the only nation to have ever won the Concacaf Nations League. They've won the first 3 editions and will be in the quarterfinal round, looking to extend that mark when they play their next match coming up in November. That'll be in St. Louis on November the 18th under new head coach Mauricio Pochettino, where they're also playing their first match of any kind under tonight in Austin, Texas, taking on Panama in a friendly. Throw in here for Bermuda. Comes all the way into the 18. Dominica playing out of trouble. But again, Bermuda just too quick in recovery on defense. And now here they come, getting numbers forward here. Inside the final 10 minutes left to go here in this first half. A first half that has been thoroughly controlled by the home side. Nikki Wells with a first half hat trick. The final goal coming from the penalty spot. Dominica settling into a block here and pretty much allowing Bermuda to have the type of possession that they would want. Trying to provide that line of resistance at the top of the penalty area, but not having much of a design of how to get the ball forward and attack in the other end. Just trying to play in transition here. They do have some speed to work with, but many times it's been 1v3 with so many Bermuda players back and not enough green shirts forward for Bermuda, or I should say for Dominica, to have a legitimate attacking threat getting forward in the final third. It's going to be a free kick. And got just enough of them. As Reese Jones Jr. was trying the blow-by. Now it looks like it's Zico Lewis standing over it. One of two players there who could potentially take this free kick, carving it in from that angle on the right-hand side. And you could go either way with this. The in-swinger, the out-swinger here, depending on left foot or right foot. Trying to get players to crash the net and get a head on it, maybe just a piece or a volley. He played on the ground instead and centered across. Well, not a badly designed play there. And Dominica not altogether ready for that. Nikki Wells looking for an opportunity to net his fourth of the first half. Dominica, after gathering position in midfield, trying to get it organized, but then they give it right back. And now from an angle. Another opportunity potentially. And Bermuda staying with it nicely. This time from the left-hand side. Luca Robinson to the corner. Plays it back, ball clipped in, back corner, and oh, what a stop by Glenson Prince, who knocks it away. That was a sensational play by the keeper and captain. I mean, that one almost floated in, and he just barely got enough. Can he get enough of this one? He does get a piece to make the stop. It'll be a corner kick, but Prince has been terrific here in the last 30 seconds, making some terrific stops. It'll be this ball you'll see in a moment from the corner. Look at how it's curling towards goal, and he just wraps it out. And has to make another stop here. Coming out nicely to cut down on the angle and deny Blaze Hall. Keeps it somewhat manageable at 3-0. That's a good delivery. It's headed clear. Now they've got the daylight, 2-on-2. If they can get it up the pitch in time, but a heavy touch. And in the end, it results in a goal kick. Good opening frame from Bermuda here at their home venue, the Bermuda National Stadium, just east of the capital, Hamilton. 3 first-half goals from the Key Wells. And they are seemingly on their way to their second win in 3 matches here in group stage play here at this Concacaf Nations League, Group D and League B. This will mark the halfway point in group play. And if this score holds, Bermuda will maintain their spot in second place. These 2 teams will meet once more on Tuesday, right back here at this same venue. So a corner kick coming up. Reese Jones Jr., number 6 in pink there, has been very dynamic here in this first half, helping to earn this corner. Can they stuff another one in before the break? And really put this one out of reach.
Player number 6 from Dominica, Professor Pierre-Louis.
Good line drive delivery, headed away by Dominica. Serve back in and headed out for another corner. Final minute of the 45, and then we'll see how much stoppage time we might get. We only had that one real extended stoppage of play just a short time ago for an injury. So maybe just 2 or 3 minutes total. It is Lewis to deliver on the corner here. He's provided some pretty good service, and that one's headed off the post. Another good ball, and that was extremely close to being 4-0. Dominica had been doing a good job defending on those corners, even though the service was so clean and crisp. But that time, a free header for Bermuda, and it was almost 4-0. And we're just going to get 1 extra minute here. There is a player down.
The 4th official has indicated there'll be a minimum
and now back up. So 1 extra minute to be played here at the end of this first half. So they've hit the crossbar and they've hit the post. Still lead at 3-0. And Dominica, some industrious work here in stoppage time, earning a corner kick. Final seconds. That one was defended by Harry Twite. Going short here. Yeah, wasted opportunity. Should have done much better with that, and instead it takes us to halftime. So a first half hat trick by Nikki Wells, including a penalty shot. And after 45 minutes from the Bermuda National Stadium in Bermuda, in this Group D contest of League B in the Concacaf Nations League, it is Bermuda 3 and Dominica 0.
ready for the call.
And now just about set for the second half here from the Bermuda National Stadium on a clear and warm night on the island just east of the capital of Hamilton. Temperature in the mid-70s, clear skies, and clear sailing for Bermuda. 3 first-half goals from Key Wells. A hat trick has Bermuda on top 3-0 with the second 45 minutes coming up. If the score holds, Bermuda will solidify their spot in second place in Group D here of League B, and Dominica will remain in third. It was a first half largely controlled by Bermuda. It ended 3-0. Could have been much worse. They had 9 shots on target altogether. They had a shot that hit the crossbar, one off the post. Glenson Prince in goal for Dominica. Had to make several good saves. So 3-0 is the score, but Dominica can be thankful that they're at least somewhat still in it as the second half commences. They'll float this one in, and Dale Eve goes up to bring it down for Bermuda. He's had a relatively quiet night. Did have to make one save late in the first half off a free kick and then scamper to cover up on the rebound, but that is about it. 2 official shots on goal coming from Dominica. The first was in the very first minute of the game, kind of catching Bermuda off guard right off the kick. These two teams will meet again in 4 days' time, or right back here on this very same pitch on Tuesday on match day number 4. All of the games during this current FIFA international window here in Group D of League B in the Concacaf Nations League are being played at the Bermuda National Stadium. Earlier today, the Dominican Republic shut out Antigua and Barbuda 5-0. And the Dominican Republic maintaining their spot at the top of the group in first place. They're unbeaten with 3 wins and no losses. Antigua and Barbuda at the bottom of the group, no wins and 3 defeats. Bermuda looking to go to 2-1 as we get to the halfway point of group play with 3 matches down and 3 to go. They would have wins over Dominica and Antigua and Barbuda with just 1 loss to the Dominican Republic. Dominica would drop to 1-2 with their victory coming over Antigua and Barbuda, but losses to this Bermuda side as well as the Dominican Republic as well. As we'll get a free kick here at midfield. And Lewis just pulled down by Brielle Thomas. No real need for the foul. That's a good move to the end line. Floated across, but too much on it. Now Bermuda was very close to leading this group. They had that match day 1 loss that opened up the competition when they fell to the Dominican Republic 3-2. Now they were outshot by a wide margin 20-6, but they did have twice the possession of the Dominican Republic, but still allowed 3 goals. Had it not been for that, they'd be sitting in first place. Looking for goal number 4 here. The save is made on the rebound. It is 4-0 Bermuda. The first save made by Prince. He couldn't do anything with the second. Bermuda coming in waves, and Zico Lewis, the first man other than Key Wells to get on the scoreboard here tonight. And Bermuda with the 4-0 lead here at their home national stadium. Following his own rebound and slotting it home. So Lewis, who plays in the United States with his club football in the United States Soccer League in Sacramento, California. Now Bermuda has now scored more goals. As we have a player down on the keeper, it looks like for Dominica, Glenson Prince is down. Going back to the goal scorer, Zico Lewis, he gets Bermuda their fourth here. And so now they have more goals inside the first 50 minutes of this game than they had in the first two matches of the group stage altogether. Well, looks like we might need a new keeper. And indeed, we will get a new keeper as Jerome Burkhardt is going to come on to replace Glenson Prince. Now, with a regular field player, you might see the stretcher come out and just quickly get the player off the field so they can continue the game, but you really can't do that when it's the goalkeeper you're talking about. You have to see it through and deal with the injury and then decide what's next, and in this case, it's a substitution. So Burkhardt is in. Now Dominica, if they cannot reverse this, will suffer their fifth loss in their last 6 games. And in this stretch of 6 consecutive games, they have now allowed 18 goals. A very disturbing trend. Prior to that, they had won 4 of 5 and were really playing well, but this is certainly a rough patch for them. Free kick for Bermuda coming up. And for Bermuda, on the other hand, this will put an end to a rough spell of their own when they had just 1 win in the last 5 coming in. They had also conceded a lot. 15 goals through those 5 games prior to tonight, but still working on a shutout here, 4-0 early on second half. Trying to get to the corner, curl it in. a free kick for Dominica. Dominica having trouble playing through the middle, instead going long. This time able to bring it down and control it, hold it up, trying to get a few numbers forward here to join in the attack now. This is better in terms of possession. Trying to create opportunities now, almost to the end line, cut back. It was deflected, and then a quick shot, just misses far post. That was a good sequence for Dominica as they look to get on the board here. The shot from Keon Thomas had to be quick and needed a little bend on it that he couldn't provide, given the fact that he had to hit that one so quickly. Bermuda on the march. Looking to make it 5-0 here. A lot of pink shirts finding their way into the area, but it breaks down in that final third. They'll get another chance here. Shot from outside the area. And the first one that really gave Jerome Burkhardt something to think about, the new goalkeeper, replacing the injured Glenson Prince. Three first-half goals from Naki Wells, one in the second half from Zico Lewis. 4-0 for Bermuda here at the Bermuda National Stadium on this Saturday evening. Second of two matches in Group D played here at this venue today. The Dominican Republic won earlier. They will remain in first place at the top of the group following tonight's games as we get to the midpoint of the group stage. And Bermuda looking very much like they're going to remain in second place, but widen their advantage over Dominica. Remember, these two teams came into this game here tonight separated by only one goal on goal difference. They both had the same record at 1 win and 1 loss, and they had both conceded 3 goals through the first 2 games, but Bermuda had scored 3, Dominica only 2. So that was the difference, allowing Bermuda to be in second place while Dominica was in third. But given the way this game has developed, that gap is going to get wider here between second and third at the end of the night. Played over the top here, and 2 Dominica defenders converging to make the stop. And Dominica resigned to just playing long balls from the back. The problem is, though, even if they get someone to bring it down and hold it up, they have been unable to string together a sequence of passes in the final third to really orchestrate any meaningful offensive opportunities. Things have been breaking down after just one or two passes and has not allowed them to sustain any kind of offensive opportunities and chances on goal. May get one here, this time coming in from the left, and it'll be a throw-in. Cut back and deflected. And Dominica finally getting on the board here. Off the deflected shot, Travis Joseph. Good turn here, and then a better turn here, but then it was deflected, finding that far corner, and Travis Joseph with his second goal here of the competition. Got his first back on match day one in the win over Antigua and Barbuda. Had a terrific opportunity near the end of the first half tonight off a rebound that was provided after a free kick, but just couldn't get his body fully turned around to get a clean shot on goal, so he was stopped on that one. But that time, in a similar fashion, also had to spin, but got the benefit of a ball that was deflected, and he scores the first goal of the game for Dominica, and now two players for Bermuda are down here at midfield. That should definitely be a card there. And the referee already reaching for his pocket. Gillies Mitchell going in the book. And our second substitution of the game coming up. But first for a field player. Now for Bermuda, Cole Hall is going to come on. And also Leroy Lewis. Now coming off here, Blaze Hall.
Ladies and gentlemen, substitution for Bermuda, the 63rd minute.
Lembe also coming out for Bermuda.
Reggie Lamb entering the game, number 20, Cole Hall.
And it looks like we're also going to get a substitution for Dominica coming up shortly as well. And that'll be Audel Laville, who is going to replace Keon Thomas. So inside of the final half hour of this match, 3 goals in the first half, 1 so far here in the second for Bermuda. All of the Dominica scoring, which is just 1 goal coming here in the second half. Travis Joseph The lone goal for Dominica as they're back to within 3. Kind of get the sense, though, that Bermuda has sort of taken their foot off the gas a bit. And Dominica will get a free kick.
In the 64th minute, coming out, Keegan Thomas entered the game. Adele Laville.
Just an unnecessary foul there. So an opportunity to curl it in. See if everybody crashes the goal. It's a good line drive. Knocked out, and then on the rebound, that also hits the group of bodies in front before that one is blasted over the bar and wide. Now Dominica is getting some chances here as they now look to have the lead. And while Bermuda may have relaxed somewhat, you can't fully get complacent. Dominica applying the pressure in the Bermuda end. That's the one area where Bermuda has been very comfortable all night, just playing around Dominica, keeping possession, playing between the lines, breaking this team down and stringing together that series of passes that has made them chase. They've been very good in possession, executing and keeping the ball for long stretches. And that one comes in. Boy, it turned out to be more dangerous than you might have expected from such a long distance. And certainly, Jerome Burkhardt, who really hasn't had much of a touch since coming on to replace Glenson Prince in goal, that was one that was a challenge for him. Now a corner kick for Bermuda. Headed away. And it looks like it'll be a free kick. And the player down, that is Lewis, who scored the 4th for Bermuda. And he was hit from behind by Reggie, or I should say by Brielle Thomas there. So he's still down near the touchline. Here comes Dominica. Dominica looking a little more confident in possession in the Bermuda end. Bermuda perhaps allowing that to occur somewhat. But getting more opportunities to try and get some offense started here. That's played out nicely. Saving what would have been a corner kick for Dominica. Oh, that's blocked. And luckily, it's blocked out towards the sideline. Dale Eve probably wasn't expecting that in goal for Bermuda. And some more substitutions coming up for the home team here. And played into space. Terrific chance to make it 5-1, but the pass behind its intended man. They'll have to regroup here at the top of the box. And a yellow card is being issued here to the player who's come on as a second half sub, Audel Laville. So a free kick from a very dangerous spot for Bermuda coming up. They hit the crossbar with a free kick in the first half. Set pieces have been very good all night long. Free kicks, corners. Trying to once again establish the 4-goal margin. And the line drive knocked down by Burkhardt. Now Lewis. He gets it back. Plays it across the mouth of the goal. And it's played out for a corner kick. Good chance for Bermuda. Good strike. Burkhardt diving to his left. Played all the way back behind that far post. Now Dominica on the run. Getting out into space here, but can they get it organized in transition? They're going to have to pull the plug here and start again. And Bermuda able to cover. A lot of green shirts up the pitch, so it'll be Bermuda trying to counter the other direction. Long ball played for Lewis. He's got 2 defenders back, though. He'll have to wait for support. And then a bad touch. And a lot of space now opening up in the middle of the pitch. Some back and forth end-to-end action unfolding as a result. Now Bermuda trying to attack from that left-hand side. Played towards the back post. And Lewis trying to keep it in. Just can't do it. Now both these clubs involved in World Cup qualifying right now, both in the second round for Bermuda, and they have 1 loss and 1 draw through 2 matches. Sitting in 5th place in their group, while for Dominica, 2 losses from 2 matches. And now a substitution coming up, and it looks like it'll be a pair of them for Bermuda. Now, first of all, it's going to be Kenori Scott, and then he'll be followed by Onde Todd. Both set to come on for the home team.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. Substitution for Bermuda in the 75th minute.
And it will be Lewis who got the 4th goal for Bermuda coming off.
Lewis.
And then Roger Lee will also exit for Bermuda.
15, Scott.
The attendance tonight at the Bermuda National Stadium, just over 1,000.
Roger Lee leaving the match. Enter the match, number 8, Onde Todd.
And with a quarter of an hour left to go, their team leading by 3. Now to the end line. Deflected as it came across. Bermuda threatening here. And finally, Dominica clears. Bermuda trying to play between the lines. Oh, slid through, but that was almost a terrific sequence there. And now a whistle here, and it's going to be a free kick going the other way. I believe the flag may have come up here on this near side for offsides. Well, as it stands right now, Bermuda, second in the group, not only in terms of their record, but in goals scored through not quite 3 games now, with a player down for Dominica here. Bermuda has 7 total goals. The Dominican Republic, the team sitting in first, they have 10 goals through 3 games. Del Laville, the player, who was just able to get up for Dominica. And another substitution for Dominica. Gervani Xavier will be next to come on.
Thank you to all the fans to attend the 2024-25 Concacaf Nations League.
From distance. Two goals so far in the second half, 1 for each team. Zico Lewis, who has since exited for Bermuda, got the first, and Dominica with their first goal of the entire game coming from Travis Joseph. And it looks like we'll get a pair of substitutions. Dante Warrington also coming on for Dominica here shortly. Dominica certainly getting more opportunities in the second half than what we saw in the first. Part of that is a symptom of Bermuda kind of throttling back a little bit. But Dominica also remaining very edgy and aggressive as they try to get back in this game. Now plenty of space out on the left-hand side. But a whistle for a player down behind the play for Dominica. And now the substitutions that I mentioned will be made. First up, Gervani Xavier. And he is going to replace Marcus Bredas.
Ladies and gentlemen, substitution for Dominica.
And then Dante Warrington will take the place of Javid George.
Leaving for Dominica, number 9, Javid George. Coming in, number 14, Dante Washington.
And these two teams will get another look at each other in 4 days' time on Tuesday. It's a very interesting setup with the structure for these group games in League B at the Concacaf Nations League this year, because they are at the same location in each international window. You have a situation like this where two teams play each other twice in a span of just a few days.
Coming in number 8.
It'll be the same for the Dominican Republic and Antigua and Barbuda, also playing again on Tuesday here at the Bermuda National Stadium. A lot of times when you have a group stage like this and you have teams that play each other multiple times, it's a home and away format, and those home and away matches are separated by at least a few weeks. But not the case here this year. Bermuda in search of a fifth. Diagonal switch of fields. Now Bermuda in transition, trying to get it out to the big man. This will be chipped in. No, not a good one, though. Headed out. Didn't get the kind of elevation on it that it needed. And now a race here. Sloppy ball. Giveaway, and Dominica now. Coming up the left-hand side. That'll be a throw-in. And this one will go to Bermuda. That ball still in. Now from an angle. 1v1. Slid across. Burkhart's out of his goal. And it is 5-1 Bermuda. That is going to seal it. Honore Scott coming in off the bench, getting the goal. And now a 4-goal lead once again for the home team here late in Bermuda. Well, it began with this play. That's just good, industrious work by Nicky Wells, who already had a first-half hat trick. He did the heavy lifting there. And instead of taking it on from an angle, he slides it back. And the substitute keeper, Jerome Burkhart, out of his goal. Slid home by Scott. And it's 5-1 Bermuda. The first substitute to get a goal on the night. And for Scott, it is his first of the competition. So, 3 different goal scorers for Bermuda on the evening, accounting for their 5 goals, and all 3 players scoring their first of the Concacaf Nations League here this evening as well.
Number 15, Mary Scott.
Inside the final 5 minutes. Now player down, but no foul. Well, with that goal, it pretty much salts it away if it was ever in doubt.
Substitution for Bermuda.
And another substitution for Bermuda here as Jai Bean is up next. And he replaces the man of the match, Nicky Wells, with his first half hat trick. Almost had 4 goals as he had a free kick that hit the crossbar too. So as we get to the midway point of the group stage here in Group D and League B of the Concacaf Nations League, it's going to be pretty much status quo in terms of how all the places in the standings are occupied. We started today's games with the Dominican Republic in first, Bermuda in second, Dominica in third, and Antigua and Barbuda in fourth, and that's exactly the way they will be after 3 matches with 3 left to play. The big difference is Bermuda opening up a bigger margin between themselves and Dominica in second and third place as a result of this match here this evening. A decisive victory that is now just minutes away. Free kick for Dominica. And a free kick for Bermuda. Now the final 3 matches are going to be interesting in this group And remember, what they're playing for is in League B here. The group winners are promoted to League A for next year. Fourth place finishers are relegated to League C. If you finish in second and third, you stay in League B. And that's for next year's Concacaf Nations League. And you have to be in League A to have a chance to move on to the knockout rounds and eventually have an opportunity to win the title. So as it stands right now, it would be the Dominican Republic moving on. They're in first place, but with 3 matches left to go, still a chance for Bermuda. And as they make it 6-1 here with the route continuing at home, they're showing that they could be a tough out, and they could certainly push the Dominican Republic all the way here, as it's the man who just came in off the bench, Jai Bean, who gets goal number 6, and it's the biggest lead of the night for Bermuda. 5-goal advantage here, 6-1. Good pass, good touch, and then Bean the finish. 6 goals from 4 different goal scorers. And looking more and more like this is a group that's going to come down to the Dominican Republic and Bermuda. The Dominican Republic holding the advantage in that they already have a win over Bermuda. That was back in the first match of the group phase. And with Bean's goal coming in the first minute of stoppage time. Not much more time to play beyond that. Just 2 minutes total. We had 1 minute in the first half, an extra minute here, but it will not make any difference to the final score. At least in terms of Bermuda turning out to be the winner. And a yellow card here. And a red card. That's the second yellow. And so with the accumulation, Dominica down to 10 men. As Brielle Thomas gets his second yellow of the game, he's gone. Just frustration at this point. Not a smart foul. That may just about take us to the end of this contest.
Brielle Thomas of Dominica. The 90 plus 2 minute. Also, the fourth official on the sideline has indicated that there are a minimum of 2 minutes added to the half.
Now, well beyond the allotted 2 minutes. Final seconds developing here. And already a full extra minute played. And now it is over in Bermuda. 3 first half goals, 3 in the second, and Bermuda with a very emphatic 5-goal victory, 6-1 the final here at home at the Bermuda National Stadium. Bermuda with 6 goals from 4 different goal scorers. They got the first half hat trick from Nikki Wells. Zico Lewis with a goal in the second half, along with Jai Bean and Kenori Scott, both off the bench. So 3 in the first 45, 3 in the second. Dominica with her only goal coming in the second half from Travis Joseph. It's a 5-goal win, and Bermuda a 6-1 victory. They're now 2-1 in group play. They stay in second place, while Dominica falls to 1-2, and they remain in third here in Group D of League B at this Concacaf Nations League. for Dominica. The problem is the way they've been conceding goals lately, just too many. And Bermuda finally a huge outburst. That's the most goals any team has scored so far in this group during this group phase. The Dominican Republic scored 5 earlier today over Antigua and Barbuda in their win, and now Bermuda gets 6 on the same pitch a few hours later. Dominica has now allowed 20 goals in their last 6 games. And for Bermuda, just their second win in their last 6, but this is a big one to keep them in the picture for a possible promotion to League A here in the Concacaf Nations League. Let's take you back through the highlights here this evening in Bermuda. Warm, clear night on the island, the Eastern Caribbean. These teams meeting for the first time and the first of 2 get-togethers over the next 4 days.
Assistant referee Alejandro Cabaneria from Panama.
Dominica would get the first shot on goal, but after that, all Bermuda. A first-half hat trick by Nicky Wells. This was his first goal. Going over the top, playing direct, outrunning the defense, and scoring the opener here in the first 5 minutes of the game. Then, on a free kick, almost had his second, but he hit the crossbar. But more would follow. A second goal similar to the first, also from that right-hand side, carving the angle past the keeper. Good low shot to the corner, and it was 2-0. He would add his third from the penalty spot. And that would be after this infraction. Tremendous pass, the foul committed, and then the very casual run-up. Keeper got a piece, but he scores his third, a first-half hat trick for Wells here, and it would be 3-0 at halftime. Right before the end of the first half, Dominica almost got on the board. Travis Joseph on the rebound from a free kick. And then Bermuda also hitting the post. This was the last play of the first half, a corner kick wasted by Dominica. And then in the second half, Bermuda would add more. It would be Lewis with his first shot denied on the follow. Slots it calmly home for, at that point, a 4-0 advantage. And then Dominica finally getting on the scoreboard here with Travis Joseph, his second goal of the competition, and Dominica's only goal of the night. That was a terrific save from Jerome Burkhardt, who came in to replace the starting goalkeeper, Glenson Prince. And then it would be Jai Bean here, coming in off the bench to get the goal to make it 5-1. Never in doubt after that. They would add a 6th here with Kenori Scott, also a second-half substitute, to complete the scoring on the night. A 5-goal victory for Bermuda, their largest and most definitive win so far here in this competition. We saw a red card late. Dominica finished with 10 men. And that's the way it would end here at the Bermuda National Stadium, with the final score, Bermuda 6 and Dominica 1, as we say so long from Bermuda on this Saturday night in the Concacaf Nations League.